Okie dokes. Good evening, all of you gamers and gamer-like products. Welcome to watching Guilty Gear Strive. FT7 Bounty Hunters number 14 are we currently, I think. Sorry for the late startup. We're usually ready to hit the start button around these minutes. However, we're pretty good. We're almost on schedule. Howdy how. Okay. Another interesting event today. We got players ranging from all skill levels once again. Starting at the evening with KS, Gold Lewis, and RACHII, Jacko. The two new characters. We saw one of these last week. And Solid was able to bring home, I can't remember how it ended exactly, but Solid was able to take that one home that time. And now it's time for round 2. Gold Lewis versus Jacko, round 2, the electric behemoth Typhugaloo or something. Yeah, we're gonna see if Gold Lewis is gonna be the one standing in the end. In terms of so these are new characters. So I guess in terms of Gold Lewis, players have had decent amount of time to figure out how to play him already. Jacko is a little newer character, and I guess with Jacko, you got the. I guess you would say your character is a little more technical. In terms of Gold Lewis, there's not really a lot of super difficult stuff other than figuring out how to execute behemoth typhoons properly. But for Jacko, the gameplay is really not your, go-to sort of kind of fighting game gameplay. A lot of stuff to figure out with your minions, how to set up how to control your minions, stuff like that. We did have some difficulties with some of the other matchups on the card. Freyon versus Gaz is not going to be played. And I think N. Kelly did say that they were probably stuck in traffic. So we're probably going to play Nicko Ram versus Gaz later. Later to the event. And also don't miss that big AnBi versus Budfelic matchup coming at the end of the set. All right, but without further ado, I guess we're jumping in. Time for the first matchup of the evening. KS, Finnish Gold Lewis player versus RACHII, the Irish Jacko player.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society.
Playing new characters like this takes definitely to get hang of characters this fast requires, I feel like, certain type of players. Certain players are really slow to or not really slow, but slower than others picking up fundamentals, picking up new characters, getting comfortable in fighting games. And in scenarios like this where a lot of new characters drop in short period of time, it's really gonna set apart sort of those players who are really fast to pick up fundamentals on any particular character from those who need a little bit more time to adjust. But here we go, right in the position where Gold Lewis wants to be. Gold Lewis extremely scary on the offense. Those behemoth typhoons can leave you fairly plus depending on which version you use. They chip a lot, and most importantly, they're very disjointed. So if you, as a result of Gold Lewis's block strings, are left at a spacing where you're not super close, it can be hard to contest those behemoth typhoons outright. The corner position. I think KS didn't even manage to land any considerable combos yet, but look at that damage. That's some Potemkin style damage. And look at the chip as well. Crossing up, and the behemoth typhoon, man. KS, very fast first round, showing that they've been playing this character. I think they've been playing this character since the release of Gold Lewis, and Yeah,
So instead of reflecting on themselves,
it is looking very good. See how RACHII can answer this onslaught from KS. So Jacko, her basic buttons, very like sort of traditional footsie buttons. There's a lot of, depending on the, ooh, the minigun fast enough to go through. Now in the corner, super important for RACHII to be able to build a little bit of real estate here. But that big hit, oh my goodness! That's probably gonna be a kill. Into? No, maybe a little too high for the super there. One more hit, any hit, Behemoth Typhoon, even a normal hit, yeah, trades with the drone there. It's gonna be a super difficult comeback to make for RACHII. Now those minions, basically the big advantage comes from if you're able to put your minions in position where you get to use the attack command, gain a heck ton of plus frames, but it is definitely in your opponent's best interest to not let you throw those minions around freely. Because they're not gonna have like a massive hitbox when they're being thrown before Jacko actually gives the commands. So you can sort of meet them with buttons like 6B, basically any button that has a decent hitbox reaching forward. Basically as long as you're hitting button when they're being thrown. Ooh, was that slow enough? Was that fast enough? That's baited, here we go. Oh, misses the punish though. That's unfortunate, still has a decent position, but one hit from KS, no. It's the minion, gets the last hit. Minion getting the last hit. Is this Dota? And Jacko, in terms of Oki setups, has some pretty good stuff, but again, her being slightly more technical, it does take you a little bit of lab time to get all of those goodness setups going. Cross up, ooh, very nice. But the Behemoth Typhoon still in range after that burst. Now we go, nice backdash out of the Behemoth Typhoon pressure. Ooh, big hit. Luckily for RACHII, KS didn't have the meter to convert there, but the subsequent hit. It was looking a little bit better this time, but KS still managing to take second in a row. But we're just getting started. At the start of the event, our hands are getting warm. Still a lot of time for development here.
mankind knew that they cannot change society. So instead of reflecting on themselves, they blamed the beasts.
I think Jacko, in terms of her buttons, is a slightly more like mid-range-ish. Not really like necessarily close range character or not a far range character, but in a similar manner as her exert buttons, her buttons are extremely good at like particular close to mid range. Whereas Gold Lewis, he probably needs to get back to neutral. Like in a situation like this, Gold Lewis really has slow buttons and can't really defend in any, you know, relevant ways other than her, than his reversal super or the universal mechanics. Speaking of the super, that's gonna hit and that's gonna do a lot of damage as well. Didn't get all the potential damage in there, but still, there we go. The jump in with Behemoth Typhoon. Not, like, regardless of the situation, Behemoth Typhoon is really a behemoth. The disjoint and the reach, such a difficult move to actually try to challenge. Getting rid of the minion, nice interception with 6 heavy, and right in there, misses with the parry, but now we're in. Let's see what RACHII can cook up. A lot of Jacko combos are not gonna do that much unless you have like a specific starter or your minions ready to go. Frame traps into 2 heavy, for example, are very nice starters. Lots of Jacko combos are gonna lead into that soccer kick and just give you like a far range pressure, allowing you to throw a minion. Nice take throw, and waiting for the burst. Smartly there, KS not risking it, because he was sitting on one round lead. Ooh, again the Behemoth Typhoon, and here we go. Cross. Ooh, interesting. able to get out of there, and now with the corner position. Good blocks, doesn't hit on the frame trap. Oh, unfortunate for RACHII. Was probably hoping to have the minions out there for the super. The frame trap with the soccer kick once again, and the follow-up. In the follow-up situations, it's so difficult to get out. I think not even backdash is gonna get you out of that minion throw into an attack command. But now, big damage. Ooh. Let's say decent sized damage coming in, but it could still be anybody's round. Offensive burst, and now we're in the range to get chipped by Behemoth Typhoon. The 5k. Oh, but the jump D! Man, Goldluiz's jump. It comes down so fast, and with that in conjunction with his strong buttons such as the jump D can make him very difficult to anti-air. And able to wrap up the round there, KS. Yeah, definitely. These are like two characters on the opposite sides of the spectrum in terms of rewards. Goldluiz, especially with 50 meter, is gonna hit it home very hard out of most hits. Jacko, unless she scores a specific kind of hit, she's not gonna do that much. Rather, she gets the knockdown just like in Exert and gets to set up her minion game, her pressure game. And in terms of her pressure, she has pretty decent tick throw setups. Those attack commands are gonna be plus a lot, allowing you to comfortably get in close and set up that strike throw that pretty much is the bread and butter for most characters in Strive. Alright, catching the backdash. RACHII getting out relatively unscathed. Oh, while Jacko is holding the minion, you can't block, so that's gonna be definitely an opportune time for you to use the minigun. Again, hits it. One follow-up. One hit is gonna be it. Oh, nice whiff punish! Backdashing out of the Behemoth Typhoon. Now the super coming in, using the blue super. So this will make the minions not disappear on hit. Using the PRC. Oh, but doesn't manage to Gatling onto the ground safely. KS returning with a throw on landing. Unfortunate there. Get the 2D. Round start. Jacko has to be very careful though. That block string frame trap with the soccer kick is sort of limited in the range. It has tendency at certain ranges to get actually to be whiffed. And oh, that's gonna go through, right? No! Oh my goodness! The destroy to the Behemoth Typhoon and the KS! Baiting the burst, that's gonna be it! Wow! Really, I was about to say that reversal super from Jacko is surprisingly good. Reaches very far, but the in was not enough. And the Behemoth Typhoon with its massive amount of disjoint there, able to actually be sort of a okay save meaty. Wow. That is crazy. In that sense, Goldluiz at those ranges kind of similar, reminiscent to Nagoriyuki. Nago's buttons also reach like from half screen, depending on your blood situation, of course, and are gonna be able to bait bursts, YRCs, dead angle. Sorry, YRC and dead angle, same thing in this game. And DPs. Using the burst to get out of there. Not willing to give up this round just yet. It blocks on it. Oh, and immediately goes into jump D. With the security level 3, the drone is gonna travel full screen and allow KS to get in the position. This is dangerous. Doesn't manage to get a clean hit, but look at the chip damage. Man, especially in that kind of position when you're very low at health, you're gonna have to commit a lot of meter to block those Behemoth Typhoons. Do not get chipped out. Because that is a guard breaking move, just like Garuda from Potemkin, just like Fafnir from Sol. And that kind of move steal a lot of chip damage. Yeah, that's like almost half of a, or let's say a third of a BMB combo just blocking that Behemoth Typhoon without FD. Looking for one more hit. Good block on the cross up, but the backdash again caught up by Behemoth Typhoon. Yeah, you really can't rush it against Gold Louis. Even though the startup of the Behemoth Typhoon kinda slow, but if you mistime your backdashes, mistime your pokes, mistime your jumps, you're gonna get caught still. And really the tail of the tape so far has been the precise usage of those Behemoth Typhoons. Being able to catch RACHII in a lot of different scenarios. KS looking super strong so far. Alright, taking a little bit of a breather here. Oh. Do we have a disconnection? Guilty Gear? Is this on my end? Uh-oh. Oh gosh. Okay, no worries. RACHII did message me that connecting was taking an extra while for some reason, but Tuesday maintenance. The fabled. Alright, back into it.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society.
So 5-0 so far for KS. Ooh, manages to catch a stray hit with that attack command. And this is exactly the position where Jacko would like to play most of the time. But so far, RACHII hasn't been able to get in that close range attack command situation to run those strike throws very often. Thanks to, I guess, KS's ability to play neutral in this matchup pretty well. Yeah, there it is. Even with the far slash counter hit, you're not gonna get that much for Jacko. In terms of damage, now activating the blue buff. Ooh, in response, firing up the lasers. And that's a massive hit, almost 1/3 of his life, yeah. That is a response for sure. If you don't want to deal with those minions after the buff has been activated. So far, I haven't seen anybody like being able to outmaneuver that ion cannon from Gold Louis. Seems to be very much like a spend 50 meter and get your pressure going on kind of a tool. Right, able to find an Abare. But KS immediately after the block string is over, very ready to go. A little too far to be able to punish with an air dash. It's the minigun. Has to respect the minion countdown. And now this is pretty good. RACHII, as Jacko, you can definitely... oh, is that gonna recover in time though? No, it's not. Using the fastest version of the reversal super. Now RACHII going for a reversal super of their own. This will deal a lot of damage. Oh, it actually kills. Even though Gold Louis is kind of a fat boy, pretty decent defense, pretty decent guts. But still, the Elysian driver has some pretty decent damage as well when done raw. Oh my god, that is joint. Catching the stray hit, and here we go, this range. Nice interruption, but just don't get hit. And if you're trading hits 1-to-1, if Jacko hits one, if Gold Louis hits one, you're probably in the end gonna come out of that trade situation as a loser for Jacko. Nice, able to switch the positions, and now KS has so much meter going in. Yeah. That was a situation where RACHII would have had to block for quite a while unless they were willing to spend YRC there. And now KS, 6-0. Looking to seal the deal early here. once again, it is the Gold Lewis who has been putting on the heat in this matchup. Like we said, Jacko, not the standard kind of character, takes a little bit of time to get started, so a lot of these Jacko players still have space to develop, learn new setups, stuff like that. But it's definitely not over. RACHII still has a fighting chance here. Ooh, they're using the wire C, not wanting to get sandwiched between the corner and the big behemoth Typhoon. Oh my goodness. It is so dangerous while Gold Lewis manages to get in. The character is pretty much like very limited movement, extremely limited mobility, but once you're in, oh boy, you're in. Nice, getting decent amount of frame advantage with that minion parry. But again, one hit. If KS manages to get in once. Good far slash. Whoa, okay. And the blue buff activated once again, and the minions will not be able to be taken out. KS smartly respecting, getting the dick throw. Oh, was that a safe jump setup? No, it wasn't. He was committing, even though that reversal super very slow on startup. Trading with the bot. Oh my god, is he able to block? No, that's a looks like an actual punish. The chip damage coming in. Even though at security level 1, not gonna do much, but soon getting security level through. Now, oh, trading with, was that a 2P? Gold Lewis 2P reaching far enough and getting the set for KS 7-0. Yeah, that was... RACHII did put up a decent fight, but in the end, man, once KS got in, most of the rounds were pretty much did pretty much end as soon as Gold Lewis was able to sort of mount that offensive position. Good stuff, though. All right, so like I said earlier, Freyon versus Gas is not gonna be played. Let's see, Satsu was probably available, so that matchup would be next. Masker versus Satsu. Alright, so Satsu has been labbing this matchup quite a bit, has been practicing a lot as well, especially with yours truly. We've been playing something like 50 matches every day since the matchups were announced. So he's been putting in the time and effort. But in the end, I think Satsu did feel that this matchup wasn't the most fun in the world to play. And that's very understandable. A lot of players don't enjoy playing against Soul being one of those, you know, one of those overbearing characters, one of the top tiers of the game. Always a difficult opponent to try to wrangle. Right, let me shoot Masker an extra DM in case. A lot of players are actually reporting some issues connecting right now. It might actually be the Tuesday maintenance. Something's definitely going on with the servers. But I hope we get through. Hope we get through this event without too many issues. Online was really fucky on Friday? Yeah. Oh yeah, my bad. I actually forgot to tell Masker and the rest that the second matchup was gonna be cancelled, so probably not expecting to go get online just yet. But we have Masker on their way. Alright, so this matchup, Sol versus Jacko. Played this quite a lot with Satsu. It seems like one of those matchups where the problem for Jacko is definitely the rewards. She, on a successful read, unless you're in a really super good frame trap position, you're not gonna get a lot of damage in. You're gonna be able to, you know, get your strike throw, maybe get a throw, then run your tricky left-right Oki setup. But most of the time when Sol guesses right, they're gonna get in that big old good damage, especially when you're relatively close to the corner. Even like the RPS situation after 2D. So for Strive, in this game, Jacko, the current 2D that was 3 heavy in the previous game, you weren't used to be able to cancel that move on block. You would always have to space it properly if you wanted to be safe, or even plus. But in this game, it is usually fairly punishable at all ranges. Definitely does not lead into plus frames, but instead, you got sort of like a RACHII kind of RPS situation afterwards. You can cancel Jacko's 2D into her special moves, such as most common being the football kick or the soccer kick, which you can also cancel into different minion commands after. So there's like a couple of points where you can RPS. The 2D into soccer kick is not gonna be interruptible for pretty much anyone in the game with anything else but DPs and reversal supers, basically invo things. Or you could backdash. Sol having the heavy DP, that's a very decent reward. So basically, after you block 2D from Jacko, if Jacko guesses right and gets the soccer kick, she gets a little bit of damage, gets to kick you full screen, and then maybe set up a minion at far range. But when Sol hits, the heavy DP actually deals very considerable amount of damage and corner carry as well, if you're close enough to get a clean hit. And a lot of RPS situations in this matchup are kind of like that. Jacko doesn't quite have the explosiveness that Sol has, so you have to guess right a couple of extra times compared to Sol. But on the other hand, her buttons are still very decent at neutral. She has that very niche kind of a spacing where she likes to play. She can't really, you know, zone Sol out. Other than you can play your basic like fireball game kind of with the minions, but then again, the opponent can also just like put a button out there, destroy the incoming minions. So there's this ongoing sort of like a kind of tennis match going on where you're trying to get minions in a position where you could land like an attack command, get a little bit of extra plus frames, get in using your minions, but at the same time, Sol is trying to destroy those minions and, you know, get in the range to start using his own good buttons. Now, Sol has very good buttons, as you might know. 6S, still a very good button, even though it was nerfed and can now be interacted with most characters' 6Ps. every 6P in the game should now destroy Soul 6S, regardless of the range, far range, mid range, close range. All of those should. Yeah, Satsu Masker is coming. He's doing the communication dance. So just a couple of minutes. But what was I saying? So 6S from Soul is now much more interactive. So the new Soul 2S is actually fairly decent in this matchup. It's sort of like a button that doesn't reach super far on its own, but the hitbox, I mean, I guess we should say it does reach fairly far compared to last patch. In last patch, it used to be like a button that you just safely put out with at neutral. If they try to poke you, if they try to extend their own pokes forward, the hitbox of 2S is so good that it should usually beat stuff. And now, since it was buffed since the last patch, it is actually a very nice button now for playing footsies. Sort of like a compensation for losing some of the power level of Far Slash and 6S. And in terms of like how Soul 2S interacts with Jacko, it obviously counters like 2D pokes. It's fairly okay against it's fairly okay against most of what Jacko can do, minus Far Slash. Jacko Far Slash is that one button that can beat Soul 2S, depending on the range though. Again, it comes down to the spacing. If Soul uses 2S at like a very safe range, just like sort of whiffs it at half screen or slightly closer to half screen, usually don't run into like there's not a whole lot that you can get hit by unless the Jacko player has like perfect timing on their whiff punishes. But at the same time, like you're not gonna hit Jacko unless she hits one of those buttons and extends herself into your pokes. And then the Far Slash that Satsu is probably gonna be using a lot in this matchup can be in turn countered by Soul 6P. But on the other hand, Soul 6P then loses to 2D. So there's this ongoing RPS at the mid footsie range. Usually starts out with, you know, Jacko taking out minions, trying to get you block a minion hit, trying to get a minion hit in to get her game started, and then afterwards, depending on how if the opponent Soul manages to sort of poke those minions out of the game, then Jacko can attempt to dash in, and we're playing a lot of footsies in this matchup. It is definitely a very interesting matchup. Oh. Ah. Hello? Are we good? Servers, not like this. Oh gosh. Alright, maybe a slight hiccup. Can we still play? Oh, it's... Damn. I wonder, is this a connection between the players or is this the servers? Judging by what people have been saying about the stability of the servers the past days, I'm willing to bet this might be a server kind of issue. Ishiwatari special. But we did have a disconnection like this in the previous game and then everything was good, so let's give it a go again and see if that was just a one-time kind of a deal. Yeah, it sometimes do be like that with online events. Sometimes you don't have a good server day when you're supposed to run these events. But I'm really hoping that we get to see this matchup, because I have a lot of emotional investment in this one, having played this matchup so much as one of Satsu's sparring partners the past week. For winner prediction, can I vote for servers? Sure. Can you even add like third option there? Is like predict the winner, Satsu, Masker, or Daisuke. Daisuke slash Mr. I'm so bad with names. Anyways, looking good so far, or not. Say it isn't so, senpai. Well then, Yeah, it really doesn't seem to be very playable. I guess we should try if this is the issue with all the players at the moment or with just these two contenders, huh? Oh, are we good? Signs of life? Pog? That would be the most scuffed start to a set ever. Alright, I guess we're going. I guess we're going. Yeah. I guess next step is to figure out like if this is like between the players or if this is a server issue. Yeah. Let me try to jump in and see if our connection has the same issue. Fuck. How do I control this game with keyboard? There we go. Okay, let's see. Let's figure out if this is a player issue or a server issue. For all we know, it could be both, though. I mean, it looks kind of good. Oh man, is it just these two players then? Man, that would be unfortunate. Yeah, you're right. Might probably routing issue. It is not like unheard of that like some players just can't connect to each other in this. Oh, never mind. I guess we have the same problem as well. Well then. That's a toughie then. I guess what we'll have to do is we'll probably have to postpone this match for now and see if one of the other pairs can actually play currently, or if this is just, you know, completely unplayable this Sunday. Should we Should me and Satsu also test this? If the same problem persists between us as well, then I guess we can determine that this is unplayable. Because like Finland to Finland connection has pretty much never failed before, right? Finland to Pori though. Well, it did take a couple of whiles for the issue to arise previously. But I mean, like, yeah, it's like some people are reporting server issues. Like what I'm actually what I want to see here is like if the connection between me and Satsu hiccups, then that sort of confirms it, and that would probably make the event unplayable at the moment. Yeah, I guess we could give it like one more try. If it just doesn't want to work, then that's gonna have to be that. Ah yeah, hosting online events. You never know what you're gonna get. Most days, it's gonna be sunshine and rainbows. Some days, it's gonna be rain. Alright, one more for the road. Let's see if we can make this hype matchup happen. Looking good so far. Server giveth, server taketh. Alright. Let's assume, I'm gonna be hopeful and assume that we get to play this now. Alright, very nice. That's one thing that Satsu definitely learned to use during the practice sessions. That 6S cancel into Gunflame, pretty much any Gunflame cancel at that range is gonna be punishable with an instant air dash. And the most common one would be 6S into Gunflame. That's one of the sequences that Soul players love to use very much. If you block the tip range 6S and then block the Gunflame as well, it's gonna be very plus, allowing you to go for even stuff like Fafnir and get even more plus frames at close range, stuff like that. Alright, but we're on 2D. Finds a very nice position. Like, actually, this is where Jacko kinda can sometimes do damage in the corner, because you have a lot of those, like some of those combos where you land a lot of minion hits close to each other. Those are gonna deal very respectable amount of damage, but there's the flip side of the thing as well. Sometimes you just deal a lot of very poor hits in succession and break the wall super fast and don't actually get to, you know, deal all of that damage. Ooh, was a little late there, I think. And there we go, jump heavy, gets the round for Satsu. Looks like we're gaming. All right. But like I said, Satsu has been playing this matchup for like, I don't know, probably like close to 300 to 400 matches at least against Soul players past last week. So I wouldn't be like it's at this point he sort of has most of the data that he could have for now. But here comes the big soul damage and the pressure hits the close slash, but doesn't cancel, doesn't hit confirm fast enough. And just like that, this is what soul rounds are gonna look like. Get a couple of good hits, hit your basic BMBs. There's the 2S, a very decent tool for this matchup at that mid to close range. Get the wall break, and now one more hit. Nice anti-air, gets the full conversion, but drops it at the end. Still a very good position for Masker, and yeah, there's another good tool for this matchup. So a lot of neutral pokes for Jacko, especially the ones that you would like to use. Far slash, you can go under with Vortex. If you take minions in your hands, you can go under with Vortex. If the minion is already coming at you after being thrown, you can go in with Vortex. So even though Vortex is super risky, it is still like a very decent option to sort of bypass the neutral if you have the read. And on the other hand, how much is Jacko gonna deal damage on you, even if your Vortex is blocked without meter? Another very strong round for Masker. Good trade. Gets blown back a little too far to get a Vortex conversion. And now the neutral. Minions going back and forth. What you want to try to avoid as the opponent to Jacko, you don't want her to have like a lot of minions out at once. Because just like in Exert, if the minions are in, ooh, here's a big damage combo though. Drops the ender a little too prorated. But gets the frame trap. No super. Players a lot of juice here. Ooh, yeah. Mercy on the Bandit Bringer, and this should be the round. Yeah, Satsu didn't end up having the burst just yet. And Masker taking the lead, 2-1. It's the full screen dash, 6B. You're gonna see both these characters dashing in from very far away into their various buttons. Soul, the two biggest buttons that Soul is gonna use, or should I say three, are 2S and 6P for footsies, and then 6S for the space control. What Jacko is probably gonna use the most are 6P, far slash, and then 2D. And just like I said earlier, they have very strong RPS element. Sort of like one button beats one button, but then loses against a different button. Ooh, 6P's clashing though. Good 6P. But again, big counter hits are not gonna lead into much for Jacko. At best, you're gonna get like a full screen knockdown and get to throw your minion for a little bit of a meaty. Alright, being very safe here. 2S to poke all incoming minions. Yeah, you can surely do what, like when Jacko throws a minion at you, you sort of have a choice between either holding your ground and poking the minion at the point of impact, or you can try to bypass it with like jumping over or going under. Or if Jacko decides to throw the minions in a higher angle, you can just try to dash through. Ooh, it's the heavy volcanic viper, and that does so much damage. That's one of the things that I was talking about. So after Jacko 2D, the RPS is very scary against Soul, because that heavy DP does so much damage against soccer kick. Ooh, gets the throw. Jacko into the corner. I think Masker was trying to bait that, but kind of old school could have even air thrown in the previous Guilty Gear games. Now the buff activated. Satsu, very nice air throw. Closes off the skies, 2-2. Looking out to be a pretty good match so far. From my experience, like a lot of my matches against Satsu, and I think against a couple of Satsu's sparring partners, were fairly even, so little bit of a hit. The minion throw. Ooh, and this is gonna... I guess like juggles like that can potentially be like decent amount of damage. Like for the most part, Jacko's offense is gonna be more like blender-like, even though she doesn't have the kind of blender that maybe Milia has. Is like she does short bursts of damage and then sets up Oki of her choice and then maybe tries to loop that over and over again. And it's either gonna be the left-right for the basic setup when you pick up the minion mid-air, or then on the ground it's gonna be tick throws, strike throws even. Ooh, finds a far slash and a whiff punish, forcing Satsu to burst. Oh, that manages to land a stray hit. Whiffing the air throw. Now next hit is gonna be crucial. Swinging a miss at safe distances. Soul 6S can be... Oh, here we go though. Ooh, good 6P. 6P against a lot of Soul block strings is actually fairly good, because if Soul cancels into a Bandit Revolver, the 6P mash, the 6B Abara is usually gonna take care of that. If Soul delays like 5 heavy cancels too much, the 6P is gonna take care of it. A lot of stuff is just gonna be counterable with you know 6P Abare. But on the other hand, if you play a tight frame trap as a Soul, cancel into 5 heavy right away without allowing, you know, the upper body invus go active, then you're gonna hit for a very large amount of damage as well. Oh, that's gonna hurt! It's gonna be half of Satsu's life. And here are the rewards coming in. Massacre potentially needs only one. Drifting downwards, yeah, forcing Satsu to go for a burst once again. He knows that clean hit TP is gonna deal so much. And what are we gonna do now? Oh, the whiff punish! Makes the 2D whiff! And goes for a far slash. And that should be the round. Yes, indeed. The very unfortunate thing for Jacko in this game for her 2D is that it doesn't really low profile as much as it did in the older games. In the older games, it was like the very sort of like, you're not gonna challenge this kind of a move. It's like you're gonna make this whiff or you're gonna block it at a close range to be able to deal with it. But in this game, it really doesn't even low profile under Soul Far Slash. So that can, like, if you're reading Jacko 2D, Far Slash at a range where it's not gonna hit is definitely one of the options you could use. Or then you can go for the same option that Massacre went and just wait for it to whiff and then whiff punish safely. Okay, Satsu getting a position though, RC. This should be it, yeah, into Elysian Driver. Very decent amount of damage, breaks the wall as well. Bam! Yeah, it's funny as well, because the function of the button is very similar to Exert, but like the properties of the move have changed so much. Ooh, Satsu finds another really good Abara 6P. The 5P and the 6P are probably gonna be the two buttons that Jacko ends up defending in this matchup for the most part. And those can be like fairly difficult for Soul to catch as well. But it's again that risk-reward. What is Jacko gonna get for that 6P? You're usually just gonna push him away. Whereas if Soul actually manages to time the frame trap properly, you're probably gonna eat like 200 damage, especially if Soul has Red Roman Cancel available. Finds the low, immediate burst. Doesn't want to get caught in the vortex. There we go, once again, air dash, jump PP, leading into a true punish. In that RPS though, you sort of have to start the jump as soon as Soul's like 6S stops recovering. So it's sort of like a read between a read and a reaction whether you get that air dash punish though. Is that gonna reach? That's so far away. Yeah, too far away there. But the 5B checks Massacre coming in. That Elysian Driver in that situation recovers fast enough, and Satsu familiar enough with the situation. Good 6P from Massacre, but doesn't manage to mount up any kind of offense. Good 6P once again. Ooh, a lot of hits coming in a short amount of time. 6S counter hit. That's a button that's gonna hurt so much. Satsu recognizes, ooh, footsies! Again, the 6P. Now look at this. Oh, that time I guess like 2D from Jacko is still able to, at certain ranges, low profile under Soul 6S. Another very good read there on the 6S Gunflame. Satsu has been getting very decent amount of reward from that one particular RPS situation, and I wonder, once you see that air dash coming out on your 6S Gunflame cancels, you're gonna be thinking about, oh my goodness, they know. I should probably try to bait it. But that particular Gunflame cancel is so engraved in a lot of Soul players' muscle memory. Very nice, using the minus frames from the new Air Bandit Bringer to dash in, get a big throw. Here we go, the RPS this time. Oh, interesting! Chooses to use meter on it. Not too bad, but here we go. Masker choosing to spend it all. This is not gonna be a kill, but gets a decent amount of damage, and now with the positive bonus, oh my goodness, what did he catch? The 2P there, another good 6P from Satsu. We're going with the red buff, but I think at that spacing, I wonder if you can actually force the opponent to block. Like if you throw a minion and then activate the buff, I think the opponent should usually have enough time to just poke it out, especially if you activate the red buff instead of the blue one. Ooh, again sees Jacko with the minion in hand. Gambling away. Satsu doesn't have a burst here, so one big hit could be it. Finds a 6P though. Masker was probably trying to bait a throw there. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Okay, RC. Doesn't have the super here, so not gonna be a kill. But one hit is all it's gonna take. Ooh, nice whiff punish. Satsu going for the combo. And the setup finds the low. No conversion though. And here we go, Masker after the minus frames goes for the far slash. That's sort of how that RPS revolves, because most of the things that you can cancel into after the 2D itself, very minus, punishable. The soccer kick, very minus, punishable. And then if you choose to cancel any of those into minion summons or commands, those are also punishable if your opponent takes the initiative. Oh, this time using the used jump heavy instead. Usually I think in that situation against the Gunflame cancels, if you go for an air dash, oh my goodness, that's gonna hurt though. Half of Satsu's life gone once again, and what we're gonna use the meter for. This is the time to spend. Masker has so much. The 5B anti-air doesn't get Satsu much, but does get him into a position. And now a lot of meter to use for Satsu as well. Ooh, never seen him use this tool. The exploding minions and the tail end of the 2D goes into Elysian Driver, but will it kill? That's the question. Elysian Driver raw, a lot of damage, and the 50 damage, it is enough. Especially since that combo wasn't too pro-rated already. Satsu recognizes that, alright, probably not gonna get a big difficult combo here, so just going straight into the Elysian Driver. Very nice decision making there. But now working the corner. This is where Soul has the rewards. Good 6P once again, yeah. 6P, a very decent tool against Soul 6S at any range in this patch. Ooh, just dashes under. A little too late to get that 2D punish. Dashing away with the minion. Ooh, nice whip punish there for Satsu. Ah, there was an opportunity to go for a lot of damage there with the minion juggle, but... Again, back dashing. Satsu, very good at back dashing against those... very good at recognizing that range where you can backdash against those 5 heavy bandit cancels and then go for a whiff punish. Oh, big 2 heavy coming in. What's the combo? Oh no, that might have been... I wonder if Satsu has a big combo of that starter. Now Masker popping the plate, very safe. Ooh, what a whiff punish though against that 2D. But still, not able to get a big hit out of that. Satsu once again taking the lead 5-4. And it's been back and forth so far. Yeah, 6 heavy. 9 frames can catch a lot of round start options from the opponent, but Satsu knows it's punishable. Gets in there. Frame trap with the soccer kick. Immediate burst from Masker. Doesn't want to stay in that difficult corner position. Couple of hits here and there. And here comes Masker once again. Ooh, unfortunate. That was a very, very risky throw whiff. Throw whiffs, obviously. Counter hit recovery in this game. Satsu setting up a perimeter here. Maybe predicting the Masker wanted to go for a DP there. Nice backdash once again. Choosing to take all the damage he can out of this combo. Now this is, I guess this is like the simple, I'm gonna do a lot of damage combo that Satsu likes to go for. When you have 50 meter, frame trap with the soccer kick, RC, and then just safe and comfy conversion into Elysian driver. Still does a lot of damage, but it's a very, very costly combo in terms of resources. Ooh. Alright, still catching with a reset after that combo drop. The footsies, the 6-piece against each other. The Gunflame is actually a pretty decent tool for Sol in this matchup as well, which I sort of unlocked like a little later into the evolution of our matches. Especially at like fire. Oh, hold that thought though. Immediate burst from Satsu. He knew that was probably gonna be it, and finds the Abare 5k. And Satsu moving into a position to potentially take the set now. 6-4. But yeah, at like a relatively far distance, you can sort of start going for just like random gun flames in anticipation for the Jacko minion throws. A lot of those minions that Jacko is gonna throw you at full screen are not gonna get past it. Oh, counter hit though. Big damage coming in. Is that gonna be a kill? 5D. Oh, a little too high. That 6S nerf coming in here in combos, especially against lightweights. In this patch, it tends to sometimes whiff when you go for stuff like 5 heavy into 6S. Oh, the brave dash in with 6P. And a burst from Masker. Now this is dangerous! Wild throw. Another one! And has the RC to finish it off. Oh no! I guess Satsu had to try something there, because the next hit was gonna kill. Didn't have a lot of options to go there, and Masker, again, looking to bring it back, but has to win 2 in a row now. Satsu still in sort of a semi-set point already. Or still. Frame trap into the soccer kick. A little... Yeah, that's one of the problems using Vortex as full screen. Vortex actually doesn't have an infinite distance. It goes... That's like the max distance it goes. If you're really far away and or backdash or jump away, the Sol player is gonna whiff their Vortex. Red buff activated. Now Satsu can play a lot of minion commands. But to play those, you actually need the minions on the board. Now Masker's life slowly running out. Even though Jacko doesn't have the most damaging conversions, there it is. Snipes with the 2D. Even if that 2D is not what it used to be in the old games, it is still a very, very useful tool for covering a lot of distance in a short amount of time. And getting in there, sliding under the most high-profiling of pokes. Here's the combo. Oh, unfortunately bounces Jacko out of the corner, but still have the superior position. RC here. Satsu doesn't have a burst yet and probably doesn't want to use it either, even if he was to be killed here. Last pixel. Last-ditch effort, spending a lot of meter here. Masker does need to get out of this pressure situation, though, to be able to finish Satsu. There it is. Dash forward 5k. Gets the anti-air. Oh, the counter hit. Generally, 2S is, unless you're point blank to the opponent, it's not gonna combo. But the function of the move is pretty much to fish for those counter hits. And at counter hits, it's usually gonna combo into Bandit Revolver. Another good 5k Abare from Satsu, but at very low health here. Needs to avoid every and any single hit from Masker. Oh, a very late 6P, but still gets it. And Masker trying to maneuver. That's gonna be a throw. Very nice reaction from Masker. Knows that that's gonna be a thick throw situation that they can't avoid. A very nice sequence from Satsu. Baits the Vortex. Both players with a lot of meters still. And you can't burst out of that! He still goes for it. RC blocks the 5D. Oh no, too far away! Is this gonna be it? Masker, Satsu, one more hit. And that's gonna be it! Satsu with the minion throw snipes Masker out of the set. The fruit of Satsu's labor paying off. Even though the set was very even, at no point of the match did Satsu look like he was confused, lost, any of that sort of thing. Maintaining the composure, staying in control. You win some, you lose some. Even if when you guess wrong against Soul, even though you're gonna take a big hit, you gotta stay, keep your head in there, keep playing, keep RPSing. Just guess enough, guess right often enough, and it is always doable. Good stuff, very good stuff. Alright, moving on to the next matchup. We're gonna have Eluith Ino from, I believe, Ireland as well, facing against Shady's Gold Lewis. Now this is interesting since Shady has been mostly playing Nagoriyuki so far, but opting to pick up a pocket Gold Lewis here. First time we see Shady playing this character as well. Oops, that's a typo. There we go. Alright, booting up the prediction as well. Shady, the multi-talented video gamer, versus our Ino player from Ireland. Ireland with a double participation today. I'm so happy to see these new players I've never casted before and who I've never seen even playing before in any events. Seeing what they bring to the table. Man, Guilty Gear is so alive at the moment. Alright, but if there is something that I know about Shady, is that he picks up games and picks up characters very fast.
So instead of reflecting on themselves, they blame the beasts.
In fact, I would probably go as far as to say that Shady is probably currently one of the top competitors in Finland. Even though he hasn't been attending too many events so far, I think Shady did say that he wants to sort of get a better feel for the game and especially get better at certain matchups before he participates in any public tournaments. But another Gold Lewis. How does this matchup go though? You would expect Ino to have a certain edge against the slow-moving Gold Lewis. Even with the reach of Behemoth Typhoon, probably shouldn't be able to like challenge a lot of the long-range stuff that Ino has to offer, like chemical loves, notes, you name it. Ino probably will have the decisive range advantage here. But let's see. Shady has been labbing. Let's see the fruits of his labor. Oh, there's the command crab though. Whenever Ino has 50 meter, you gotta be conscious of that. When Ino lands, it's likely gonna be throw, strike. And to escape that setup, you have to be jumping already before the super flash goes off. That's actually the only +0 or startup 0 super in the game currently, as far as I know, after the super flash. Good job from Shady. So far, Eluith very much in control, and once again, throwing Shady in the corner. But those jabs, yeah, against Ino, no matter what Guilty Gear game, you can't be too passive on defense, because if you just sit there and take it, Ino is gonna land, get another dash off. Whenever Ino gets a forward dash, that float dash off, it's gonna be another pressure reset, another set of mix-ups, and that's no bueno. That's no good for you. So you wanna be relatively active and try to prevent Ino from resetting their pressure too often. But then again, if Ino goes for the frame trap instead, she gets to set up her Oki once more. So it's about a lot of RPS going in when you're facing off Ino, both on the Oki and on her just regular pressure. Oh my goodness, getting the throw here. Being very safe. Giving an opportunity for Shady to burst. There's the burst though. Lots of chip damage / meter stolen by the security level 3 minigun. And Shady just is having difficulties landing any of those hits. Like, oh, that was so slow. I think he didn't commit right. Yeah. The downside, if you want to go for the max damage level 3 super, it's gonna start up so slow. And it's probably one of the easiest reversals in the game to safe jump because of that. And speaking of slow, in this position, yeah, the 2P is gonna be like your fastest button at, I believe, is that 5 frame? That's not a 5 framer, right? I think his 2P is 6 frame. So Gold Louis on the very slow button gang, and then again the command crab coming in here for Eluith. And this is probably gonna be a kill. No, not quite! The defense and the guts coming in here. Last chance this round. Manages to land the minigun. But on hit, that's not gonna deal a whole lot of damage. RC to avoid this position. Eluith has been so good at avoiding any sort of... Oh my goodness! The good reaction with the 6P. Immediate burst from Eluith and the dive. Man, the dives... Overall, Ino's movement this patch has been hastened so much. It's as if Ino is a complete different kind of character now. Felt very sluggish in the previous patch, but now a lot of Ino players are reporting that she's way more fluid to pilot. And also the new combo opportunities you get from Stroke the Big Tree once again. At 50 meter, and when the opponent is down, you're a grappler. That's sort of like a double-edged sword, I feel like, because to balance out the raw power of that super command crab, she doesn't necessarily deal as much damage as she did in the past. So it's like a lot of her damage potential is actually now in that super crab. Getting knocked down with the super and baits the burst. Gold burst though, only -10. And gets the round as where Eluith is here to game for sure. 3rd round in a row. And it's not like Shady's not doing anything. He's attempting, he's trying, but he just doesn't seem to be able to find an opening to go on the offense. Yeah, even in situations like this. Oh, here we go though. This is the place. This is the place to be. The behemoth typhoons are coming in with all the plus frames in the world and the chip damage. Just like that, we're back in the neutral, and now Eluith will proceed to control the matchup once again. Oh my god, that's so good! That's so smart, maneuvering over the bot there. Thunderbird. Ain't snap! Says Eluith, but Shady does find the minigun snipe at the end though. Another good 5B. Or is that far slash? I don't think I can. I think that's a 5B, right? Yeah, that's gonna be fast enough to be a 5. The far slash is the backhand, yeah. Very good. After that dive on block, Ino is very minus, so can't commit to those those jump-ins anymore. And there we go, just like that. I'm not sure what it was that Shady found, what Shady figured out during that round, but that was just completely different kind of Guilty Gear. Even though Shady is not getting like any massive damage combos in, he like just landing one big Behemoth Typhoon or like Far Slash into Behemoth Typhoon is gonna deal a very respectable amount of damage on especially these soft characters like Ino. Right, opting to take the wall break with a super, and we go into a setup. Overhead, gets in with the low, and finds the throw. Nice whiff punish there on the dive. A lot of the times, these Ino players, like you kind of want a neutral jump against the opponent, see if they are willing to whiff something at Footsie's ranges, and then if you see them whiff, you fire that dive, you get in, and get your game started. Oh my goodness. Shady just doesn't seem to be able to get over that. Stroke the big tree. Here with the bot. Oh, made it though! That's gonna be big! Ah, he did read the burst, but Eluith smartly delaying it just enough to get the burst off when Shady was coming down after that burst play. And that's how it goes. That's how the RPS goes. Not only do you have to predict if the opponent's gonna burst or not, but you also have to predict the exact spot they're gonna burst. Good 6P. Oh, there we go, Footsies. Finally finding a button against that stroke the big tree. It's a little unfortunate. Shady hasn't been able to find any relevant conversions poking out of, like, he's had some good success with the 5Ps as anti-airs, but if that's all you're gonna get, it's not a whole lot, right? Got a very good position here. Oh, look at that! Trying to dive, trying to whiff punish that Behemoth Typhoon, but that time, the version of Behemoth Shady was using was still active. Ooh, whiffing the 2P, trying to 2P as an anti-air this time. 5P once again. It does give you, oh, very nice! Swipes Eluith back into the corner. And now we gaming. How are we gonna get out? Trade in Ino's favor. Manages to flip the position, very nice! Ino players tell you, hey bro, just throw the stroke the big tree, and Shady is like, alright. Alright, mate. Oh, Footsies! Oh my god, that's so smart! With that jump arc and the Behemoth Typhoon, able to catch Eluith out of that stroke the big tree. Shady is finally finding those options that call that move out. No more does it seem to be free for Eluith to go for. Man, if there's a gamer in Guilty Gear world or the whole of fighting game world who's able to adapt on set, it is Shady. Man, Shady's just so good. Oh, there we go. That's a combo. That's a combo we can use. It's like, look at this. Look at this. It's like the couple of first games we saw. It seemed like Shady just wasn't able to do anything. It seemed like a one-sided slaughter. But little by little, Shady's powering up. Oh my god, Gold Lewis. Even Gold Lewis can dash under that HCL. Poor Ino. Long gone are the glory days of HCL. I guess in this game we would have to just say Chemical Love because we don't even have BCL in this game anymore. Get the burst. Pretty okay point to get a burst because we're still at a relatively even life situation. Big counter hit. Gets the conversion. And the cross up. Alright, opting to take this a little more simple. Forcing to block that Thunderbird. And the last setup, what's it gonna be? Overhead! That's the big starter. Obviously, due to being a version that hits forward very late into the active frames, that particular overhead is usually, I think you can interrupt it. It is very slow. But oh man, if you get hit by that, that's like one of the premium starters for Gold Lewis. One hit, and Eluith already lost 1/3 of their life. But now the position that every Ino player dreams of. Good first from Shady. Gets out of the sticky situation, and the level 3 bot. Nice check. You know, float dashes have always been the kind of air approach that you don't necessarily need your 6P against. And like, against, you know, float dash in general in a lot of Guilty Gear games, you don't even want to go for 6P. 6P is just too slow. More often than not, you want to get something faster out, such as 2P, if your 2P can hit high enough to tag Ino out of the dash, or 5P. And the 5P has been what Shady has been using so far. Very nice clash cancel there. Big damage. That's half your life gone already. Ooh, that's him very in minus now. Eluith's turn. Here we go. So on the way out and spends the RC. Now Shady is gonna get the burst back here in a second. But whether he wants to use it or not is a whole different kind of a question. Oh, is that gonna be a whiff punish? Ooh, that was probably premeditated. That looked very nice. Shady almost hitting the big drift forward punish. Even though he didn't manage to get it, that was so cool, man. In Strive, you really need tools like that if you want to take your Strive gameplay into a different level. Especially with these characters who are a little more limited on the movement department, such as Nagoriyuki or Gold Lewis, or even Potemkin, who barely with him with that downwards Behemoth Typhoon, and now in the position plus frames. Oh, is that gonna work? That's gonna work. That is so invulnerable and so slow. And in this situation, the slowness of that super is actually working for Shady. Just as a lot of tools in fighting games, often enough, your tools are sort of balanced. If your tool can do something well, it probably can't do something like this. What I'm trying to say is, tools are good for certain things, and then they're bad against certain things. And Gold Lewis Super is a very that sort of a deal. The slow startup can actually allow you to power through certain things, or could even allow you to use it in conjunction with YRC. But then again, if somebody is safe jumping on you, then the slow nature of your reversal is gonna be a negative factor. Alright. Both players looking for that one clean hit. Oh, misfire for Shady, goes for the 6P, predicting the forward dash. But that time, Eluith was going for a low. Man, look at that chip damage. That was on block. Behemoth Typhoon is so scary. Oh, the big counter hit jump D. Oh, I wonder what Shady was trying to get there. What button is Behemoth Typhoon again? Is it heavy? I think it's heavy slash. Get this jump in. Still looking for. Oh, that's gonna be big. Oh, misses the hit confirm though. Too heavy though. Good anti-air. And finally finds the defining hit. They're dead even. 4-4. Man. Shady's adding yet another button to their Futsu repertoire. Is that 2D? I think that's 2D, right? Yeah, that's 2K and the other one is 2D. Man, that shows how much I know about this game, huh? But I mean, in my defense, it's a new character, sort of, and not a lot of players play Gold Lewis. There we go, very good check. Man, Shady's so patient as well. Even though Shady has been cornered for like, how many seconds? Half a minute already. Eluith hasn't been able to get anything like substantial out so far. Oh, the burst at the last possible moment. Did he react to that? I wouldn't be surprised. Here's the super though. Yep, gets the punish. No longer is that super safe on block. I mean, it is kind of safe on block if you get the second part, but oh no, the clash cancel from Eluith. Able to attack Shady and now in a difficult position. Oh, with a jab! Yeah, Eluith has been insisting on going in after that dive has been blocked, and that is very unsafe. If the opponent is ready to anti-air you, and Shady has been pretty much every single time. Right, Shady once again in the lead. Oh, that's big. Yeah, Eluith recognizing that hit would have been put back against the corner with most of their life gone. But just like that, we're in the same situation again, but in the other corner. Ooh, barely whiffing the Behemoth Typhoon. Was that a safe jump? No, it was not. That jump K was way too late. Again, defending the airspace with that jump slash. Very good horizontal range. Here comes Eluith though. And Shady has been such a brick wall. Look at that. The defense. A lot of players start panicking against that barrage of outgoing, like heavy stroke, S-stroke. But Shady hasn't been counter hit by that move almost once yet, even in this set. Alright, finds the hit. But against Goldfluis, not a lot of damage dealt. Still, oh my goodness, still potential for Shady to come back. Mistimes their meaty though, and here we go. Eluith has all the options in the world, gets the round with a simple tap on the noggin. And that's 6 heavy. Good RPS there, 6p the round start. Now working in the corner. Ooh, a little too early though. Goes under the 5p. Decent combo. We need a couple more hits. And now, Eluith choosing to spend that precious 50 meter on the conversion. But here's more. He's gonna build so much more. It's kind of a, like, in Strive, even if you spend meter, most of your RC conversions are gonna break the wall. And will put you in a position where you're gonna start building a lot more meter back. So it's not that big of a commitment, I feel like, using RCs in this game compared to some of the older Guilty Gear games. Whereas if you go for like a full screen RC conversion very early to the round, that's gonna mean you're not gonna build a lot of meter back anytime soon. And also the meter management is super important for Ino, because like if you don't have the 50 meter, you're not gonna have access to one of your biggest hitting RPS options on your pressure, the command grab. And at the same time, all of your supers are so good. And then again, you would like to RC some of your conversions as well. So a lot of things that you would like to use your meter on. Not to mention the defensive options like YRC, a very important tool. Maybe not against Goldfluis so much, because I guess often enough Goldfluis is going to be in a position where they're hitting with their Behemoth Typhoon anyway. Oh my god, the brilliant throw there from Shady. And whether that's blocked or FD'd is gonna be so bad. If Eluith was not gonna hit the FD there, he would have gotten chipped out. But if he does, I think Shady's gonna be so plus, able to go for another one. Good 6p once again, very preemptive, very on the point with those reads. Uh-oh. Here we set it up. Very close to the corner now, Shady with the 50 meter as well. Very important interruption for Eluith. Able to mount back an offense. Spending 50 meter for the pressure reset, that's one of the other ways of spending. But now since Eluith doesn't have any meter here, this corner combo not gonna deal a whole lot of damage. Shady's still in a very good position again, goes for that drift forward since that Chemical Love doesn't hit very high. Able to drift forward, baits the burst, has RC, he has it. Finishes with the super. Shady now once again in the lead, 6-5, putting himself in a very threatening position. Now Eluith has to take 2 in a row to come back in this nail biter of a set. Yeah, the jump D from Goldfluis is such an oppressive tool. It's like a jump in attack that you usually, yeah, look at that once again, that you usually can't react against very easily. And especially if you're already doing something, it's definitely gonna catch you. It's pretty much one of those tools, since Goldfluis's jump arc comes down so fast, and since that jump D is such a good button, you're gonna basically have to fire your 6p as soon as you see Goldfluis leave the ground if you want to anti-air that tool. Again, the footsies. Oh, that 2 heavy hits hard. Look at that damage. That is really one of the premium footsie tools for Ino. Oh, in the court. Oh, no, that's unfortunate. Okay, luckily for Eluith, though, was bounced out of the corner. But here it comes. Shady with the corner carry. Has the security level 3. Has a lot of things going in for him. One more throw. Set it up. Oh, but Eluith recognizes that was not gonna be tight. But again, Shady says, test me and I will throw it. Not a whole lot of people, not a whole lot of players, even the top level players are able to react to that and throw that on reaction. But Shady showing his gamer prowess. Now it's do or die for Eluith. That's a very decent life lead here on this round, but as fast as he gained that life lead, Goldfluis is surely able to bring it back. Luckily, not a whole lot of resources here for Shady, and Eluith is alive. Oh my goodness, here we are. On the edge of championships. This is where the champions are made. This is the point in time where both these players recognize that I can't make a single mistake anymore, but neither can my opponent. This is the place that separates the Sunday players from the rock iron hard champions. We're gonna see who has what it takes to take this set. So far good for Eluith. Backdash calling it out from Shady. Wall break. What gonna be it? Goldfluis though, very explosive. Oh, there we go. One more hit. Yeah, uses the YRC. Doesn't want to have anything to deal with that comeback opportunity from Shady. And now Eluith on set point. What a comeback. Hitting it once again. Shady, even though he got that gold recovery, not able to get an interruption. The footsie situation after one and oh, unfortunate. That's gonna be a situation where it's so difficult for Goldfluis to escape. And now as a last-ditch effort, firing the laser, trading the gold burst from Eluith though. Oh my god, Eluith with so much momentum has the super. Is that gonna be enough? Yes, it is. Eluith from a 2-point deficit comes back and takes it 7-6. Oh my goodness. The adjustments back and forth. Eluith started the set extremely strong, making Shady look like a complete beginner. Then Shady making the adjustment, taking the initiative back, and then at the end 6-6. Whoa, what a match. That's some good ass Guilty Gear if I've ever seen any. Oh gosh, where do we even go from there? Alright, so for the next match, so initially, or originally it was supposed to be Kelly who was supposed to play against Nicko. But earlier Kelly did say that they had a little bit of a situation and probably couldn't make it in time. So I think the next matchup is gonna be Nicko Ram versus Gas Sol instead. And that probably works out for Nicko. So Gas and Kelly and Nicko, I think relatively around same skill level-ish, but it also works out for Nicko because they were probably preparing for a Sol matchup, and switching from one Sol to another, probably not a big deal. Let me sip that tea. My throat is gonna need that. Man, you know that thing when you get really excited when you're watching some good ass Guilty Gear And you get so excited that you sort of can't control your voice, and then you sort of like lose your voice. That thing. Yeah, that thing. Yes, that's very true. As a couple of characters that have very little representation. I think Ino is definitely one of those characters who very underrepresented still. Probably partly because of wasn't like a super strong character in the previous patch. But now, after getting her mobility options slightly adjusted, looking like a very, very decent character in this bad patch. Like, obviously, don't quote me on that, but initially, the new Ino does get QK seal of approval so far. Alright, we have Nicko in the lobby. Now we only need gas. Alright, so Ramlethal, the other Ramlethal versus Sol. A very interesting matchup. So Ramlethal definitely has the rewards. One of those characters who actually can compete with Sol's rewards, but only if you have the position. If you are on the opposite or the opponent side of the screen, your combos are gonna lead into meterless 60% or 50% most of the time. So let me start the prediction.
So instead of reflecting on themselves, they blame the beasts.
So Nicko versus Gas. Choose your destiny.
Ramlethal versus Sol. Duel 1.
So as far as the neutral goes, Ramlethal has a pretty decent control, because obviously you all know Far Slash, you all know 5 heavy from Ramlethal, very disjointed far-reaching buttons. Those will be kinda difficult for Sol to contest. So the initiative in the matchup is gonna be on Ramlethal's side, but to balance that off, Sol has so much oopsing potential. Once you make a single mistake as Ramlethal, Sol can very easily take you down in 2 combos. I mean, the same is kinda true for Ramlethal as well. If you're on the opponent's side of the screen, you're gonna take them in the corner, deal like 40%, and then land one big combo into a super wall break, and that's gonna be the round. But I think Ramlethal is a little more conditional when it comes to dealing damage still, to sort of balance it off. And from like personal experience, it's like, whereas it's not only that Ramlethal kind of can be oopsed very easily by Sol, it's probably that Sol kind of needs to force that issue and try to go for a little bit more wilder stuff. Because if you try to play it like clean and fair, quotation marks, against Ram, oftentimes she just has like better tools for a lot of those situations. Oh my goodness. The classic Vortex PRC into a throw. That time, Nicko was not able to react in time. And Gas putting themselves on board. First point. What country is this? So this is gonna be Gas is a Finnish player, and Nicko is from Norway. Ooh, nice! Finds the 2K! That's so cool. 2K just before the gunflame hits. getting the juggle with Gunflame. That's not a setup I've seen very often. Ooh, tried to go for a BRC there, but Nicko already queued up that response. Good jump out. Oh, the dash forward and into Saprobato OTG, man. Another move that deals so much damage, man. That Saprobato, speaking of Ram having initiative in the neutral, oh, that's without the 50 meter though, the Saprobato, the big swing is gonna be very punishable. Soul should be able to dash forward, even like full screen, and get some sort of a punish. Ooh, baiting the burst there, but Nicko not biting. Now a delayed burst. Aggressively putting gas in the corner, and this is the difficult position. Baits the DP. And gets the wall break with super. Oh no, the beginning of the... Oh, wait. Wait a second, that didn't... Huh? That didn't hard knockdown? Anyway, here's Vortex conversion. Wait, did he whiff with super there? I closed my eyes for a second. Oh, what a reaction there. Sees the approach, throws Soul out of Vortex. That's definitely one of the things you can do. Oh, trying to be safe, but the 5k from Gas. The wild DP and immediate burst. Yeah, Gas doesn't have a lot of life to spend here, so had to burst immediately. But now, the corner position from Ram. You all know it. The most beastly character in this game in the corner. Was that in the previous game as well? And continuing the trend going on.
Duel 1.
In the current iteration of Guilty Gear, once you get put in the corner against Ramlethal, oh my goodness, is it difficult to get out. What goes in, like, what Soul has working for him though is that you have a very decent fast DP. DP is actually one of the, one of the most consistent tools that you can use to RPS your way out of some of those hits. Ooh, that's baited though. Let's see the punish. Ooh, a little late there. Didn't get the micro dash far slash out properly. Might have wanted to like dash deep into a close slash. Now picks up the swords. Oh, the punish wasn't quite there. And Nicko happily taking that round after that little bit of a mishap. Probably wanted to go for a 2D originally. Maybe? Ooh, the tail end of the Gunflame. Now in the position. Ooh, that's gonna be big. Doesn't unfortunately go for the biggest of conversions. And actually didn't have meter for the previous conversion either. Ooh, a little bit of a drop here, but still gets the wall break. This is gonna be a clean one. And now with the heavy knockdown. Sorry, the hard one. Ooh, Gas with the combos. Doesn't quite get the full, the usual, the cheesy combo that he was looking for. YRC, very nice. And YRC, man, that's such a good tool in Strive. So much better than Dead Angle as well. Because when you fire your YRC and it hits, you're basically gonna be so plus that you can run your basic tick throw setup. Oh, crossing there. Gas was probably ready to anti-air, but to the wrong direction. Gold burst spent here in the corner. Oh, was betting the farm. But no worries. Had that gold burst 100 meter the backing up, so good go for the superb YRC. Oh, missing the throw. Unfortunate. Now Gas going here for the BMB. Fast RC. Misses the meaty though. Luckily gets out. Ooh, tricky. Using the fake Gunflame. Sort of check what Nicko wants to do at defensive position and finds the S Volcanic Viper. An even trade. Ooh, very nice read. Was reading the sword throw, going under with Vortex. Vortex also one of those tools that you can potentially use in the corner after swords if Ram is not close enough, but obviously carries its own risks, and that counter hit is gonna lead into death. Ooh, there we go though. So 6P, just like just like 6B is usable against Soul 6S, all characters in the game should be able to 6B ram out of their far slashes, right? I'm fairly sure, unless you're at like super tip range. Right, the B&B conversion. Ooh, unfortunate drop. And now Nicko will happily take this. Needs to come back from this life deficit. Ah, unfortunate. Out of the scramble situation, 5k. Basically the fastest button in the game. Very good at resolving those oopsie situations in Soul's favor. And here we go, already in the corner. Very nice from Gas. Neutral jumping out of the sword explosion and just pokes Nicko out of it. Yeah, you really need active and clever solutions like that when Ram is running their pressure on you, because just like you can't stand and take it in the ass like against Eno, the same applies to Ram as well. You can't keep blocking in the corner forever. You have to challenge if Ram, especially when Ram wants to pick up her swords back. Knowing the matchup, knowing where the gaps are, and knowing where you can RPS. Next thing you ask me, well, QK, where do I RPS? Don't ask me. I don't know. Right, here's the R3 conversion. This should lead into a wall break until it didn't. And Gas will happily take it and takes the burst as well with the jump. Such a good position, counters. Counter hit, close slash, gets gassed around. Extremely good sequence at the end. Good reads. And Soul is definitely one of those characters that you wanna have your reading glasses on with as well. So kind of the character that you go in and you sort of gamble with the dice very hard. The deal with Soul's dice is that they're sort of weight dice. So you have your six-sided dice has the number 5 is replaced with number 6. So you have two number 6s on your die. You're still rolling the die, but you're like super favored to win a lot of those close pressure situations. But he's still a character that you have to sort of RPS when you get in a lot. And it's been like that pretty much during every single iteration of Guilty Gear. Soul is that big fast brawler that goes in and tries to get what you're doing. If they do, you get hit for a lot of damage. Keeping the pressure alive. Oh man, Nicko is just trying to find their way out of there. But jump slash to the rescue. Oh, very nice DP. Doesn't quite get the optimal conversion he was looking for. YRC, get off me. Despite having been on the receiving end of the blocking for like the majority of the round, Nicko has been defending so well here. Very patient on defense. Oh, another good vortex. Sees the upper sword throw. Says, alright, I will go under. Big damage conversion. But still, the deed is not done yet. One more hit for both these players. And that's plus frames. Gas going in hard. The neutral jumps, they're not good enough. You have to air dash out or come down with the button. And that time, Nicko was a little too hesitant pressing it. And understandably so, when you're coming down on any character in that position, they have sort of the advantage. Oh, bait from Nicko. That's gonna hit very hard. Oh, drops it again. That's been one of the things plaguing Nicko so far. Dropping the BMB corner conversions. Not gonna drop it this time though. Very decent amount of damage with the super and the wall break. And now in a very decent position. Gas RPSing their way out. But Nicko sees it, snipes it with preemptive jump slash. Very good. In a position where you would often have to go for like an air throw, Nicko says, alright, my character has this very far-reaching move at this range. I think I'm gonna use it. Oh, look at that once again. Gas just so on top of those reads with the vortex. I think he's been able to predict it almost every single time when Nicko wants to go for that full screen sword throw. Are they reacting? No way, right? Punish and reaction? Oh, on the tail end there. Yeah, that's sort of tricky when the sword pushes you in the corner. Even if Ram doesn't get the optimal conversion, at certain ranges the sword is gonna push you back into the corner and like hit the sword explosion is gonna be hitting you as meaty. Now the pressure, close slash, very plus. Nicko trying to make very good use of that faultless defense in the corner. Obviously the nerfs coming in for Sol. Again, look at that! How does he know? But this time, Nicko bravely dashing forward. Getting the throw. And now, pick up the sword. And here's where the pressure starts. Unless Gas is able to read. Safe jump as well. Doesn't quite get the killing combo. But Nicko doesn't have the 50 meter either. Oh my god, the tail end of the Volcanic Viper hits. Madman, the active frames. And like that, Gas taking the lead once again, 4-3. Ooh, that requires such iron resolution. Throwing Fafnir out of the startup frames. Man, if that Fafnir hits, you're gonna take 50% damage there, my friend. But Nicko says, that's fine. My reactions are on point. A lot of the sequences where Nicko is dashing forward, they're very ready to react to anything like approaching from the Sol end of things. Like Vortex, Fafnir, been able to throw those very consistently. Again, the close slash works as well. Pretty much anything against Vortex, as long as you put a hitbox out there, you're gonna poke that Vortex. But the downside, like the thing is, it's not gonna be very reactable a lot of the time, especially at like close distances. Full screen, sure, but closer than mid screen, Oh, the RPS at round start, the 2S. Taking the best of Gas that time, using the burst. A very opportune time to use it. If he was to save it, if he was to save it for longer, it will get much easier to read the burst. Now get the wall break. Saprabato dealing a lot of damage. Not a hard knockdown. Ooh, any trade here is not gonna be in the favor of Gas. Yeah, the delayed 4/5 heavy cancel catches Gas on the way out. Very basic, but very effective. Technically, if you delay that 5 heavy cancel too much, there is some counterplay. I think you might be able to 6P or even Vortex under, but the trick is you're trying to give them, just like any frame traps in any fighting game, you're trying to give them just a little, just enough gap for them to hang themselves. Ooh, that's a big hit though. Nicko doesn't have a burst here. Oh man! Luckily for Nicko, that wall had taken considerable amount of damage so far, so Gas not able to extend that into a kill combo. And just like that, the throw, switching the positions. Now, any hit for Nicko would be good, but very nice. Dash under, sees that Nicko is gonna jump over, 6P in the right direction. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. At that close range, gun flame, very minus. Now very important to not get hit here. Nice. Nicko not able to react to the instant air dash of Gas here. Nice escape out of the corner, man. Gas has been so good at escaping that difficult position. Like this position, you can't stay here against Ram for long. And Gas, he's doing it. He's playing actively. He's RPSing his way actively out of there. Sometimes you get hit on the way out, but hey, that's the name of the game. Oh my god, look at that! He was committing. I wonder if that he was trying to read the backdash or the burst out of Nicko, but oh my goodness. That was like 2 years of dashing forward. And now Gas here, didn't have the meter for RC, but gets the soft knockdown, gets the good setup, close slash, the meaty of choice, and just like that, Gas once again, grasping the lead, but not by too much. 5-4, anything can still happen here. Oh, the jump slash, very decent hitbox. And look at that! Nicko is starting to adapt to Gas's active Vortex game. They've been throwing that stuff off the startup for so many times already. Far slash. It still advances quite a bit, so even if this patch it got nerfed a little, it pushes back just a little bit more than previously, but it's still a very good option on offense, especially if your opponent is sitting still and not willing to improve their position. Look at that, the swipe. That is why Ram controls that far mid-range quite well. Oh, the 5k. Off the scramble situation, giving Gas a very decent position. And now, this is the new or the old, the RPS. If you're trying to FD your way out of that far slash, Gas can definitely predict it and go for close slash microdash to reset their pressure. Good combo, put Nicko in the corner. Trying to close off the airwaves. Nicko sort of having to wait for the swords before they can unleash any relevant hits. That's the sort of downside of using your sword throws. And Nicko has been using those sword throws very aggressively. If you, at that point, if you miss your sword throw, it's gonna be stuck in the other end of the stage for so long. And the buttons associated with that sword are gonna be so much more weaker after that. The back jump slash. Defending their airspace. RC. Put them in the corner. Another good escape from Gas. The old classic jump out air dash. If you predict that they're committing to a... Oh, nice! He saw the Gunflame was gonna go active and that Nicko was already queuing up a move and just opted to respect there. Jump heavy. Was nerfed a little, but still a very strong jump-in move. And gets the round for Nicko. Man, the script is writing itself. 5-5. They're dead even. Ah, damn, who made this matchup? Damn, I'm good. Anyway, nice air dash and baits the burst as well. Very nice start from Gas this round. And the 5k hits it smart mark once again. But hitting 5k against lightweights this patch, that high in the corner, is gonna be dangerous if you're trying to hit confirm into 6S. I guess most of the time you would wanna hit confirm into a jump cancel anyway. And this should be the kill. Yeah, doesn't even need to use the super. Just the sword explosion alone takes that 50 damage scaled wall break. Right, far slash against airborne, pushes Nicko into the corner, very nice! Doesn't quite get the flash conversion there. Just like that, in the position where Ram Lethal very much thrives. Oh, we're a little too close. I think Nicko wanted to go the back jump slash once again, but Gas saying no deal, my dude. Oh, the close slash, that's gonna hurt so much. Gas doesn't have a meter to spend here, unfortunately. But again, if you can break the wall as Soul, leaving your opponent at that 1 pixel of health left, you're basically setting them up for a very nice tip range 6S to finish the round with. First hit goes in the Gas's pocket, bounces Nicko out of the corner, it's fine, keep the pressure going, the jump slash is the button of choice here. The RPS, oh my goodness, the scramble situation once again. Gas chooses to spend, baits the burst, and Nicko, the high pace of the situation, man. The reads coming out so fast. Nicko wasn't able to react to that situation. It was the right read for Nicko to not burst there, but Gas transitioning into that follow-up reset situation so fast. Now that's Guilty Gear. Oh my goodness, what a conversion! Is he gonna get... Oh, full conversion. Gas, you're so good. Nicko checking with the 5k. Oh, making the Vortex Whiff. Unfortunately, that high in the air, I think the jump slash is not gonna lead into big damage unless it counter hits. Here using the BRC, tried to get the anti-air, but Nicko already had a button going on. Saprabato breaking the wall. Looking at that meter. Oh my god. No, he drifts into the 6p! But gets the throw still. Man, good decision making there for Nicko still. They saw that they were drifting into the 6p and chose to not press the button anymore. Cutting their losses, just opting to wait it out. Oh, 2p finds it. No 6 heavy conversion though. And now Nicko hits the close slash. Oh, this is gonna be big. Cancel into the super, milks every single bit of damage out of that. And Nicko stays alive. 6-6 once again. Another thriller in the making. Who's it gonna be now? Oh my god, but that's a very common problem. You hit the Fafnir, and then you need to time the precise timing of Vortex to get the conversion, and sometimes you just miss it. And now in the corner, Nicko, the Ramlethal favorite position, being very safe. Yeah, Gas has been extremely active there in the corner with the jumps, with the DPs, breaking the wall from safe distance. And now what's the mix-up? Just goes in. The safe jump. Yeah, get off me. For Ram, definitely, because you're kind of a character that doesn't necessarily need to spend RCs, red RCs for your BNB conversions if you have the position when you start the combos. I feel like Ram is one of those characters you want to actively use YRC whenever possible, especially against explosive characters like Sol. But now one hit. Oh my goodness, is that enough? That's enough. The BNB conversion, even though that wouldn't have led into much, that was all that Nicko needed, and now Nicko on set point. Gas had a little bit of a momentum lead there going in. But now Nicko reversing the position. Gas is not done yet though. Hit them in the air. Hit them with a lot of landing recovery. Beat the burst once again! Potentially, no! Doesn't get the big kill. And this is bad. This is so bad. Oh no, Gas. You gotta get out of there. The burst hits. Baits against. Oh, reads the Vortex once again. Is that enough? No, the wall breaks just too early. A saving grace for Gas, but last chance, last dance. Oh my god, we've punished Saprabato with Vortex. Doesn't have meter. 1 meter to RACHII. And here comes the YRC. Actually hits from that distance. Oh my god. And the 6P. Gas stays alive. Last round. Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. This is the last chance for both of these players. Who's gonna be the champion here? Get the throw against Vortex once again. Here comes Nicko. The pressure, the Ramlethal damage. Needs one more good one. Gas smartly improving their position, switching it up at this place. Nicko's not gonna be able to finish it with one combo anymore. Good 5k. Alright. Picks it up with a simple one. Oh, nice. Still a very, very damaging conversion. Goes for another one. Again, doesn't kill, but now Nicko, look at the damage. Look at their meter on Nicko. Oh my god. Able to block that, but if you block that airborne, that's not gonna be punishable. Now in the corner. Good. Gas improves their position. Oh my god, it's gonna be a throw. Goes for a 5k jump key. Doesn't even go for an air throw. Gas predicts you're not gonna be blocking in the next couple of frames, and he snipes Nicko out of the skies. Gas. Wow. Another nail biter of a set. I've been waiting for this kind of Guild Gear for so many weeks. Man, 2 back-to-back extremely tight matches. That's what Guild Gear is all about. Man, that's what fighting games are all about. That was so good. But in the end, the one who's standing, Gas, that man. Very good stuff from both of these players. Alright. How do you all from AnBi stream? Speaking of AnBi, came to the right place, Gas. Next match, we're gonna have some top EU level Strive coming at your way, so strap on for a rodeo. Budfelic, a Norwegian Nago player. I feel like Budfelic probably a little more of a... They're probably a little more low profile of a player so far. I haven't seen them play in a lot of events that much so far, but they did extremely well. I think they placed 3rd on the previous, or the one before the last one of Big Levos, right? So they definitely have what it takes to compete at the highest level in EU when it comes to this game. Wait, am I mixing Evo and Levo? Wait a second. Let's see. QK, brain, parsing. I think it was Levo, right? Not Evo. It was main Evo. Okay. Gotcha. Ooh, I need a good sip of that water after those two sets. Either way, placing really high on either one of those tournaments, both of those events, pretty much like two de facto most high-profile tournaments available currently, Evo and Levo. If you were to place high on either one of those, man, you're probably the top like, yeah, you're pretty much a top competitor at that point, period. Oh gosh, spare me. Budfelic, AnBi. If you're gonna put on a similar performance as the two pairs before this, my voice is gonna be dead after this. Just making quickly sure that I gave both of the players the lobby code. Gave it to AnBi. Yes, I did. Did I give it to Budfelic as well? Yes, we did. All right. Whew. Man, what a ride it has been so far. Got so many nerves playing on stream. Yeah, it did really do be like that, but damn, that was a heck of a performance. Thank you so much for playing, Nicko. That was beautiful. I want to say, like, having seen that match, I was almost like happy that some of our sets got cancelled so that we could actually get to watch that one. Wouldn't have traded that match for the world. Alright, we got signs of life for Budfelic there on their way. Yeah, it's always the last spot is the difficult one to play, because you don't necessarily want to sit through the full event to wait for your turn, so sometimes it's like a little bit of a prediction when the previous matches are gonna end. But while Budfelic and AnBi are heading into the lobby, let's talk a little bit about the matchup. So Nago versus Sol. Another very interesting one. Just like Ram, Nago is one of those characters who can definitely challenge Sol's big rewards. And that ends up being a very relevant factor. Usually when you have a character that can control the neutral better than you can, and or a character that has sort of like the initiative in the matchup at the neutral, such as like Axel, Nago, Ramlethal, characters like that. As Sol, you're usually banking on the fact that once you get in, once you're able to slip through their defense, your chances to win the matchup rise significantly. But the problem, because of like the risk-reward difference, a lot of the characters in this game can't deal the same amount of damage as easy as Sol can out of like basic hits. But Nago is sort of like a exception to that rule. Nago actually hits very, very hard out of most of their pokes. Even like basic pokes like 2Ps or 5Ps, you can convert into some actual damage and into knockdowns. Where some of these other characters, some of these low tier characters don't have that privilege. And that said, Nago does have, like, I would say a little bit of an edge at neutral. 6S for Sol, still a very good button, reaches very far, can make Nago, can definitely, especially at lower blood levels, can match Nago's buttons. But when the blood starts flowing, when we're reaching that level 2, that level 2 blood status, then it actually gets so difficult for Sol to play against Nago at neutral, because the 5 heavy reaches so far, 2S, regardless of blood, very decent poke, very safe, whiffs very fast, and very difficult to whiff punish for Sol as well. A 2S from Nagoriyuki, sort of like a button that reaches just far enough so that Sol can't get in the range of his like relevant pokes. And I'm pretty sure even though 2S was buffed, 2S still doesn't contest Nago 2S that well. So what you're mostly looking for is you're trying to find an out, you're trying to find an in after your opponent whiffs something. After the Nago whiffs one of their like slower buttons, such as like 5 heavy, far slash, 2 heavy, buttons like that. Those are your go-tos for getting the in on Nagoriyuki safely. And like depending when it comes to the blood situation, it's like at the start of the match, you have your big party starter, Kamuriyuki, for Nago. The spinny wheel. Just like in any other matchup, really able to get the game started fast. And very difficult to contest as well. I would say like, unless you already have like a 2S active before Nago goes for the Kamuriyuki, you're not gonna find a lot of buttons that can contest it. So like your best option is probably gonna be like evasion. And it kind of works out because every single special move Nagoriyuki uses is gonna spend like roughly 1 stock, like roughly 1 level of blood. I think it's like 90% or something like that. So like doing like a neutral jump over Kamuriyuki and then punishing on the way down can be extremely beneficial, extremely rewarding. Not only do you get the punish, but you force Nagoriyuki to go like 1/3 of the way before they pop that blood rage. And that's sort of gonna be the name of the game. It's like, not only as a Nago player do you have to keep your eye on the opponent's, on your own blood level, but as the opposing player, you have to keep an eye on their blood level. What moves can they use? Are they still able to fire the spinny wheel? If so, how am I gonna evade it? How am I gonna make them miss it so that they can't get their party started? And once they do get their party started, then actively playing RPS, predicting when the bites come, predicting when the pressure, when the frame traps come. It's kind of, it does feel bad regardless of who you are. Doesn't matter if you're a Sol or if you're a different character. Once Nago gets in and starts running that strike throw on you, that's so scary. Because not only is the strike option very damaging, the bite, the blood-sucking universe, the command crab is massive in terms of rewards. Not just the damage, but mostly the amount of blood you get back. Basically, you set them up for a really big party afterwards. You get like 100. You basically get 1 full meter of your blood available after that. So means you're gonna get at least 3 special cancels free of charge, sort of. Let's see, we have one of the players in the lobby. Which one is it? Let me check quick. So it is Budfelic who is in. I did see a raid from AnBi earlier, so I am fairly sure that they are aware. But might have gone to like kitchen or something, just quick before the previous match ends. Or might be fighting the server matchup. The communicating thing. It's been a pretty good event so far. Alright, Signs of Life from AnBi. They're on their way. So, I guess these are... A lot of people say that these 2 characters, Sol and Nago, are sort of the 2 top-tier characters right now. Previously, a lot of people thought that Sol was pretty much alone in that S+ tier. Now, after the Sol nerfs and the Nagoryuki buffs, I guess a lot of people put them like at evenish tiers. The tier list discussion has sort of quieted down after the patch, sort of, and I guess that's always like a good sign. That means that like people are like relatively okay with what they have at current, right? Is that how it goes? Or isn't that how it goes? In terms of like matchups, neither one of these characters has a lot of bad matchups. I know Nago has a couple really bad ones, or not really bad ones, but relatively like couple slightly minus matchups. And arguably, I'm not sure if Sol has any. Sol definitely hasn't got a lot when it comes to bad matchups. But if you gotta mention one, then this would probably be the one that's kind of tricky to play for Sol, for basically because of the reasons I mentioned earlier. But both of these characters, very good, very explosive. We have our players in the lobby, and we are just about to unleash these 2 beasts upon this land. AnBi, obviously, if you've been following the previous Guilty Gear scenes, or if you've been active on Strive, you should know who this man is. One of the top competitors in EU, the creator of the good old Gunframe, everybody's favorite cell phone app, and Budfelic having very good tournament results in some of the top profile tournaments so far. This is gonna be a banger, really. Right, close slash gets the optimal amount of delay there. Frame trapping into 5 heavy. Just like that, we're out of that pressure situation, and now this is where it gets tricky. This is where AnBi definitely wants to keep up the momentum, because if Budfelic is able to go back to neutral, oh no! Able to see the shockwave just whiffing on Budfelic there. The classic of Strive. Very nice, there it is. The one thing I was talking about earlier, the neutral jump, one of the best ways for you to counter that Kamuryuki, because Sol, as well as many other characters, don't really have a lot of good buttons for challenging Kamuryuki. So what do? You try to make it whiff, and AnBi, being the strong player that he is, and probably the master of this matchup as well, knows. Oh, there's the bait though. Luckily not a killing combo. We're going back into the news of the 6 heavy! Is that gonna be enough? That's not gonna build enough meter for AnBi, unfortunately, and the throw. Man, the classic go-to defensive option for Nago-ryukis when they think your stuff is not tight. Nago with the classic Potemkin extended normal throw range, and look at that, 5 heavy. When you're level 2 at blood, that 5 heavy becomes the very defining factor of the footsie game. AnBi, very nice, getting out of there, but gets tagged out by the 5k. And the 2S. Those are the 2 buttons that you want to watch. The 5 heavy when the blood gets high, and the 2S at every blood level from Nago-ryuki. Those are the 2 tools, the big playmakers. Along with the 2 heavy as well, if you're raiding for. Yeah, look at that. Just whiffing the 2 heavy. Oh my god, AnBi! You got like, oh, you beast! AnBi! You're so good. You beast. Not only did AnBi whiff punish the 2S there, the classic 6 heavy, just like the old 6 heavy, man, oh, that's so good. That is so good. That's why this man has been playing Sol for such a long time. Not their first rodeo. They know this character's ups and downs. They know that inside out. Have been playing this character in Exert for years, and now making all that knowledge work for them in Strive as well. 6 heavy used to be such a nice whip punishing tool against a lot of lows, and it sort of works like that, but a little bit differently in this game because it reaches so far so fast. AnBi really turning up the heat here, get the heavy knockdown, and the mix-up, what's it gonna be? Just dashing in for a strike throw, the classic. And the backdash reads the bite from Budfelic. Looking at their life situation, they saw, alright, buddy, you're at level 2 life, so it... My bite sense is tingling. I think you're gonna bite, but this time, the RPS swinging it a different way. Budfelic making a march forward, the Kamuryuki into... Oh, that's punishable for sure. Oh, a little bit not far enough. I can't believe that's like, man, I can't believe he just threw Fafnir like that. That's gotta be because of the extended throw range, right? Man, that was so sick. And now here, baiting the throw this time, but Felix not going for it. Oh, just dash forward into fake gunflame, reads the burst. That trade is so much in Sol favor. When you trade with that far slash, you better not press a button afterwards, because you are so minus. And AnBi, another fast win. Yeah, it's... Usually you see Nago controlling the neutral a little bit more, but AnBi making it look a very simple ordeal. Yeah, look at that. Once again, baiting the throw and into the optimal punish. Oh, dropping the combo though. It's a little unfortunate there, but still get a decent amount of damage out of that. The 2S into Kamuryuki. Here we go. And now we're at this point where the footsies are gonna be so good. Budfelic though, gambling, going for the bite, and again, AnBi has been predicting that command grab every single time with the backdash. The footsies, the 5k. Yeah, that's another good button against Soul. For the close mid footsies. Ooh, very nice backdash with active frames there. And the 2S5 heavy swipe. Yeah, these matches are gonna be so fast though. One hit from either one of these players is gonna deal so much and cause so much of a like such a big momentum shift. Is that he's gonna pop? Did AnBi notice? He didn't notice in time. And guarding that Blood Rage explosion, unless you're back against the corner, unless you end up right next to Nagoriyuki, you're not gonna really get a punish out of that. Again, the back throw, trying to wait, baiting it very hard, but AnBi stays safe, stays tight. But in the end, it is really difficult to burst against Nagoriyuki if he doesn't want to get bursted against. Both the burst and YRC, very difficult to hit because a lot of his buttons are disjointed, right? 6 heavy, 2 heavy, 5 heavy. A lot of the all of those buttons, if you try to YRC or burst against those, more often than not, you're just gonna whiff. But I mean, it's like sometimes you just have to try. Sometimes you're stuck in a combo that is gonna kill you if you choose to not burst. So at that point, you might as well, right? Right, Fukyo in, very nice. Gets the 5k anti-air, and now with pressure. Ooh, almost gets the whiff punish. That's the big RPS. One of the big RPS moments you wanna be looking for. If Nagoriyuki whiffs too heavy, you wanna be dashing forward as soon as you can and then trying to punish with 6S. And so one of those lucky characters that has like a relatively fast, very far-reaching button. The 6 heavy once again, nice, gets the link into Vortex. And the pressure, oh, player blocks it in the air, doesn't quite get a punish. But the trade ending up in Budfelic's favor. AnBi was trying to mount the comeback, but didn't quite have the life lead. Didn't quite have the life to make up. To go for it. Man, the 6 heavy usage of AnBi. I've never seen a Soul player use 6 heavy that well in this game. Yeah, goes to Soul, look at that! The 6S, still very good, especially when Nagoriyuki is level 1 or, level 0 or level 1, so under 2 bars of blood. That 6S is gonna be very relevant, because at those amount of blood, the 5 heavy is not gonna reach as far as Soul 6S, I believe. Oh, just waits for the whiff punish, man. AnBi making it look like Kamuriyuki ain't even a tool here. Again, the round starts 6 heavy. Paying dividends. Working out for AnBi so well. He really knows where to stand. Yeah, the tip range, man. You really recognize an old classic footsie Soul from the old games when you see one. Oh, that's gonna hit, but Budfelic was trying to be sneaky, even after slowing down AnBi's frames, was still trying to press a button, and now paying for their crimes on their last legs. Level 2 blood. Ooh, a very decent jump. Nice. The heavy slashes are gonna be returning life back for Budfelic. Oh, unfortunately, air dashing themselves in the corner. The bite! The perfect, I think AnBi was going for a DP there, and unfortunately in Strive, the DPs do not cover throws. It's the first command grab that Budfelic manages to get in. And here's where it starts. The introduction period is over. Both players have shown some of their go-to cards. And the period of adjustment will start. This is why FT7s are so beautiful. It is not your usual first to 3 tournament format that we've been seeing in a lot of these events. In FT7, you have so much more time to sort of adjust to your opponent. Now, very close to popping. Is he actually gonna pop? Not quite. Was able to get enough heavy slashes in there. Oh, catches backdash though, that's big. Luckily, Nagoriyuki is a fat boy. Pretty much the same amount of EHP as Potemkin and Gold Lewis. Right, opting to use the RC here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! He's gonna pop though. Combo into the Blood Rage. This is still pretty good for Budfelic. Gonna return on their life. Nice! He sees it! The classic RPS. AnBi wanted to go for the big Hail Mary. Was predicting that Nagoriyuki swings with the 5 heavy. The 5 heavy in Blood Rage is full screen. But through that, you can also Vortex under that, but Budfelic knew exactly what AnBi wanted to do. And now, in the corner, 5 heavy hits, sorry, the 2 heavy hits, but not a counter hit. Now that's a punish. Ooh, a little too late there. I wonder if the Far Slash can even punish it. Should be able to, because that's like minus 20 something. Yeah, or... Ooh, finds the swag combo. And here's the clean hit. Ooh, interesting, not breaking the wall. I was willing to bet that that's gonna deal enough wall damage. The perfectly placed 6 heavy. Even though Nagoriyuki kinda has a further reaching tool there in 5 heavy. When your life, or when your timing is not right, especially with a lower amount of blood, Soul 6 is such a strong tool. Another good point to use Soul 6S is when the opponent misses their buttons just like that. Just like AnBi did there. They're gonna wait for Nagoriyuki to whiff a button, preferably something heavy, but maybe even 2S, and then dash in for the 6S to try to punish. But that time again, Budfelic predicting the Vortex, hitting the 2S, hit confirm, and just like that, Budfelic in the lead for the first time. But these matches can go either way very, very, very fast. Both these characters super explosive and very, very momentum oriented as well. You get one good command grab in with Nago, and it's, oh boy, it's go time. Even Kamuriyuki on block. Oh, he's so close to pop him. I think AnBi realizes, right? Oh no! He counted it perfectly! Just on the edge of popping, and now the footsie phase will begin. Ah, I was trying to get the bite in. That's a punish, yep. RC, extend it. Oh, a little bit of a hiccup there. But the 6 heavy, yeah. At that range, I think Nago shouldn't have anything that can beat it very easily. Maybe 5k. 5k would have probably been one of the options. Mixing it up. Even if you're still very low on life, who's to say that you can't bite twice, right? Usually your opponent is gonna be thinking about the bite option when you're this high on blood, right? But surely you can go for another one, refresh your buff, and keep partying on. Unfortunately not able to... Ooh, 2 Kamuriyuki's played. Now, gonna be pretty heavy on life here. Sorry, pretty heavy on blood. Not high enough to get to level 2 though. I think the level 1 is the sort of the weakest point to be for Nagoriyuki. Oh, is he gonna pop? He's gonna combo into the Blood Rage, and this situation once again. Oh my goodness! That was unfortunate. Could have been a killing combo for AnBi. And now again, at 1. That's 0 life. Sorry, 0 blood. Baiting the burst, but Budfelic not biting. He has to burst eventually though! Yeah, that's the downside of holding your burst. When you get closer and closer to death, you're gonna have fewer opportunities to use your burst, and you will, as a result, become more predictable. And that time, that was pretty much the last point for Budfelic to try to attempt to make that burst. But I mean, if your opponent is baiting the burst as well, then you sort of have to hold it, right? Ooh, nice challenge there, Kamuriyuki. 0 on block. Soul basically beats anything Nago can do, unless Nago special cancels the Kamuriyuki. Especially in the special on block. Ooh, very nice anti-air. And the conversion coast to coast. Into close slash. Ooh, whoa, very nice. Drops it in the end though. And that level 2 blood, that 5 heavy cuts through bone, flesh and flames. Gunflame can be an okay tool at neutral, as long as Nago is not at high blood, but at that level 2, he's able to cut through the Gunflame, even like at almost full screen range. Close slash in the clean hit TP. Oh, but here comes immediate burst from AnBi. Understandable in the corner. Yeah, baiting just enough. And once again, AnBi, the game sense of this man. He knows exactly when Budfelic wants to burst. And again, 6 heavy. I think that 6 heavy should probably counter Kamuryuki, right? Of the round start distance. Which might be one of the reasons why AnBi is going for it. I can't remember exactly like what are the options that saw 6 heavy counters, but man, AnBi's using it so consistently that it's he's gotta have the scent. He's smelling the blood. He knows exactly what Budfelic wants to do in a lot of these situations. Will be counter hit. This time, managing to get the burst off. Oh, very dangerous with that 2 heavy. Sometimes you have to go for it though, because I think the 6P from Nagoriyuki as anti-air is not the most amazing when it comes to rewards. Whereas the 2 heavy is a big beast. Yeah, that's gonna be close enough to link into the Gunflame and get the round for AnBi. Ooh, nice whiff punish there. Waiting it out. 5k, nice. Still looking for a clean hit. Slides straight into AnBi's DMs. And a big hit. AnBi still has a burst, but they probably don't want to use it here. Now, this life deficit is so difficult to come back from. Switching sides. They might change their mind if they're able to do a little bit more damage on Budfelic, but at the moment, as it stands still, it would be a very dangerous burst to go for. Budfelic forcing the situation. Oh my goodness, waits it out. And it's Budfelic who has to use the burst, but look at that, the Kamuryuki burning through a lot of the opponent's pokes. Oh, attempting the whiff punish, but I think that's not good, right? And the punish, yes indeed. Level 2, 5 heavy, whiff punishes with ease. A lot of characters have actually difficulties at that range punishing the whiffed dragon install, sorry, the HMC, because it just travels so far and it can be hard to dash after Soul unless you do something like YRC in the end and slow Soul's frames, but not a problem for Nago. And Budfelic, oh, they're doing it. They're doing it, they're going even, 4-4 already. The gentlemen that they are, trading wins, one after another.
Mankind knew that they cannot change. Duel or what?
Wonder if they're gonna buff HMC for Soul? Yeah, I mean, the current patch philosophy has been like making moves that are useless into like actually do something. Look at that spacing from AnBi. The 6 heavy. Standing in the right place, exactly at the tip range where Kamuryuki is gonna whiff. And then whiff punishing, man. I gotta take some notes from AnBi's book. This is like the actual matchup knowledge, where to stand. If you don't have a game plan for like, what are you gonna do at certain distances? Where are you gonna stand at different points of the matchup? If you don't have a matchup like that, how can you even say that you know the matchup completely? Dancing through, but the 5 heavy still, even at level 1, reaches pretty far. And Budfelic gets a really fast round. 5-4 now. But hey, that's how it goes. If Nago gets a couple of good reads on you, it can snowball out of control very fast. But same goes the other way as well. Soul gets one good hit, scores 40% of your life, goes for Oki, you get hit by Stray, Fafnir, and corner combo, break the wall with super. Yeah, you've all seen it happen. And had a couple of clean hit DPs somewhere in there as well. It's actually amazing that they didn't like nerf so clean hit DP. 2 Kamuryukis. Oh, third one! That's gonna be a lot of blood. Is he gonna pop? He's gonna be so close. AnBi. The big hit, yeah, has to burst there. And slides into the command grab. AnBi doesn't have a way to get out of this. And this is where it gets really hot. Break the wall. And now 1 sliver of health for AnBi. Again, the 6 heavy hits home really hard. Put them in the corner. Oh, the perfect range. What a... That's not even a shimmy. That's just standing at the perfect space, making that Nagoryuki's extended throw range whiff. But now so many resources for both players. Oh. Good YRC. Basically putting AnBi in a thick throw situation, and AnBi reached with a backdash. But unfortunately for him though, Budfelic played the right option. Kamuryuki once again powering through. The one big defining force of the neutral game in this one. Oh, and he's gonna pop. Yeah. Not gonna be... Oh, unfortunate. Very unfortunate with goes for Santetsu. That's a tragedy. Tragedy on screen. That was gonna be close to finishing Budfelic right there. But that combo drop of that scramble situation, Budfelic was still in blood rage, able to go for Sansetsu. And finishing the round. That super does so much damage. That is so unfortunate. And now Budfelic with the 2-game lead was looking even so far. And now couple of mistakes. Couple of small mistakes turning into big leads. Good prediction there. Plays 5k, 3-frame normal against the 0-1 block Kamuryuki. Oh, there we go. First kinda being like, should I air dash in? Oh, that's gonna hit it though. I think I saw far slash. Yes, indeed. Gonna take a decent chunk of AnBi's life away and get Budfelic a Oki set up here. To S5 heavy, slide in into 5 heavy. Yeah, that's what Nago's so good at when the blood is high. You're not gonna get some of those like big combos that you would get when you are low on life, but you can really make your neutral game like flow. And now that's gonna be a wall break. That's not quite gonna kill AnBi. But this is set point for Budfelic. He only needs one more hit and AnBi's out. That's a burst though. What's it gonna be? What's the mix-up? He's gonna bait it with Hukyo. Luckily Gold Burst recovers very fast. AnBi needs to make this count. He needs something. Spent the last bit of his meter. Oh, almost with punish, and that's gonna be it. He has the RC and Budfelic just like that with a big momentum shift from 4-4 into a quick 7-4. If you didn't know who Budfelic is, write this dude's name in your bingo book. Because they're certainly one of the most destructive forces in the EU region for Strive at the moment, and displaying what a good Nagoryuki player can do here. Wow.